Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Binapurarachi.
And I'm Hushain Ali. Let's have a look at the headlines tonight. Interim vote on account passed unanimously in the Parliament. Rice and coconut at a concessionary price from Satosa. The President invites professionals to join in creating a digital economy. Rainy weather to return on the 10th of this month. Parliament turns orange against gender-based violence. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that trade unions will not be curbed. Rebels capture major city of Hama in Syria. On to those and other stories in detail, and your top story for tonight is the interim vote on account of the government for the first 4 months of 2025 has been passed in the Parliament today without a vote.
And the interim vote on account to continue the government activities and debt servicing for the first 4 months of 2025 is presented in the Parliament on the 3rd of this month. The debate in this regard was held yesterday and today in the Parliament, and it was passed without a vote.
The approach that we are taking is based on the zero tolerance for corruption, transparency, accountability and governance as the cornerstone in this process. This is a journey. To this journey, we will provide the political leadership. We have the political will to take this country forward and put to an end to the corruption, the menace of corruption in this country. But we need to do it together. We need to get the government institutions join, large enterprises join, SME sector combine. So in this journey, we want to connect Sri Lanka to the global economy. We want to connect next generation to global opportunities. We want to create that through a digital platform and through converting this economy, connecting this economy into this global digital economy. We have started strong and we have shown steady progress so far, and we are determined to move forward to our final goal post.
Minister Professor Anil Jayanthi told the Parliament that debt restructuring process is nearing its final stage. He further elaborated more than the planned procedure of the government regarding this matter.
Sir, may I ask you what in principle means? What does in principle mean? He said in principle agreement. Yes, what does in principle mean? Bro, what is the word meaning of in principle, sir?
Honorable Anil.
No, it is not a final agreement.
It is up to us. It is, yeah, that is true. It is not the final agreement. It is up to us to take into account both cost and benefits. Already we have seen all the cost that has been accrued as a result of just dragging this thing unnecessarily for over 2 years period. So that it is our duty to and responsibility to do the best thing. So we are taking the appropriate results on behalf of the House.
And in the meantime, Leader of the House, Minister Bimal Ratnayake, announced today that the position of Chairman of the Committee on Public Accounts COPA will be granted to the opposition. He made this statement in response to a query in Parliament regarding the Parliamentary Affairs Committee of the party leaders' meeting. Minister Ratnayake said that party leaders have decided to give the position of chairman of the COPA to the opposition. It is not something they requested. Also, the number of members of the Public Accounts Committee has been increased beyond the standing orders, the minister said. The minister further clarified that the ruling party will take the chairmanship of the Committee on Public Enterprises COP as it is necessary to examine the affairs of the previous government. Meanwhile, regarding the Sectoral Oversight Committee, Minister Ratnayaka stated that a deadline has been set until January 31st for its appointment. He added that a decision on the Committee on Public Finance (COPF) will be made later this evening. The minister also highlighted the need to appoint 24 ministerial consultative committees, including those for the Ministry of Defence, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and Ministry of Digital Economy.
And meanwhile, Sri Lanka's first ever visionary impaired Member of Parliament, Sugat Wasantha De Silva, addressed the Parliament today, marking a historical moment in Sri Lanka's Parliament.
The House.
MP Sugat Wasantha De Silva was appointed as a Member of Parliament through the national list of the National People's War, led by President Anurukumara Dissanayake. Addressing the Parliament today, MP Sugat Wasantha De Silva said that after a period of 76 years, a differently abled person has been appointed to the Parliament of Sri Lanka. MP Sugat Wasantha De Silva also expressed confidence in providing the changes a differently abled representative in Parliament can make, along with the ruling party over the next 5 years.
මේ ආබාධ සහිත පුද්ගලයෙකුට පාර්ලිමේන්තු වරම් හිමි වෙන්නේ අහඹු ලෙස ආකස්මිකව හෝ ඉහළින් පහත් වෙච්ච දෙයක් අනුව නෙමෙයි. මේ ඓතිහාසික මොහොත උදාපත් කරගන්න වේසිච්ච කණ්ඩායමක් ඉන්නවා. දේශපාලන නායකත්වයක් ඉන්නවා. ඔවුන්ට මගේ ප්‍රජාව වෙනුවෙන් මගේ ආබාධ සහිත ලක්ෂ 17කට අධික ආබාධ ප්‍රජාව වෙනුවෙන් ස්තුති කරන්න මට අවශ්‍යයි. මේ අවශ්‍යතාවය ආබාධ සහිත වූන්ට තමන් පිළිබඳ තීන්දුව తీරන ගන්නා වූ උත්තරීතර සභාවට නියෝජනයක් අවශ්‍යයි කියන එක තේරුම් ගත්තේ ජාතික ජන බලවේගයේ පක්ෂය විතරයි, දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපාරය විතරයි. ඔවුන්ට ඒ සංවේදීතාවය ඇති වුණේ කොහොමද? මේක දේශපාලන සැරසිල්ලක්, ජාතික ලයිස්තුවට ලකුණු දබා ගැනීමේ වැඩක්.
Meanwhile, distribution of rice and coconut on a concessionary price is now on by Satasa. Through this, a person can purchase 3 kilograms of rice and 3 coconuts. A coconut can be purchased at a price of 130 rupees and Nadu rice is being sold at 220 rupees per kilo by Satasa. Consumers have expressed their gratitude to the government for taking this step. The Coconut Cultivation Board too started distributing coconuts at a concessionary rate from today at their head office at Batramulla. About 1,000 coconuts were available for sale today. In the meantime, rice mafia and the scarcity of coconuts was taken up in the Parliament today. Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe has said that information was received yesterday and the main state banks have issued loans to the tune of 15 billion rupees. He added that although bank loans have been taken, rice has not been issued to the market, whereas discussions were held with the large-scale mill owners in this regard. He pointed out that details of mill owners who have taken loans and details regarding the amount of debt they have to pay back have also been received. He also said that since yesterday, a number of mill owners have started releasing stocks of rice to Satasa, and by now 100,000 kilos of rice have been handed over to the Satasa, whereas another 100,000 kilos of rice was provided yesterday also. He pointed out another 50,000 kilos were expected to be provided by the evening today, and steps will be taken to distribute them through Satasa on a daily basis. The minister also said that the mill owners. Parliamentarian Harshana Rajkarna observed that although the government members now say that large-scale mill owners have this problem, but they have not shown any kind of enthusiasm to take a strong decision. Minister Vasantha Samarasinghe said that there is such a person in your national list also. He added that Ratna's rice mill had been given 3.5 billion rupees and questioned as to why they are getting excited. The minister pointed out that discussions were held with the mill owners and the government will take a decision on those who have taken loans from banks. He added that the mill owners created a mafia of rice in the market and they were about to do the same thing to coconut also.
And meanwhile, President Anurukumara Dissanayake invited all professionals to participate in creating a digital economy in the country. The government expects to earn a sum of $15 billion through the digital economy within the next 5 years. The President shared these remarks while addressing officials of the Ministry of Digital Economic Affairs after assuming duties as the Minister of Digital Economic Affairs yesterday. Highlighting the benefits of digitalization, the President stated that it has the potential to enhance the efficiency of economic activities and elevate the country's economy to greater heights. Efforts will also be directed towards increasing the digital workforce to 200,000 and digitalizing the entire country within the same time frame. Engineer Rangavir Ratna assumed duties as the Deputy Minister of Digital Economy during this occasion. The event was attended by Secretary to the President Dr. Nandika Sanat Kumanayaka, Secretary to the Minister of Digital Economy Varuna Sri Dhanapala, Senior Advisor to the President on Digital Affairs Hans Vijay Surya, who is also the Chairman of ICTA, along with a group of officials.
දැන් අපි තවදුරටත් විශාල කබඩ් වල ලිපි ගොනු පිරින මිනිස්සු පොලින්
Senior Advisor to the President on Digital Affairs Hans Vijay Surya said that the field of digital economy, the President has taken a major step by creating this DIV ministry. For the first time in Sri Lanka, we have resolved to develop national economy through digitalization. In 3 or 5 years, the government is attempting to enhance national economy with the objective of increasing the GDP. This move should be realized through an action plan.
On more news stories here at home, the Met Department says that an increase of the rainfall is expected from the 10th of this month. Deputy Meteorologist Ajit Vijay stated that heavy rains will last 3 or 4 days. Deputy Meteorologist Ajit Vijay says that several rounds of showers are expected in the northern eastern provinces. Showers and thunder showers may occur in the western, Sabargamur and southern provinces and in the Nuwara district in the evening or night. Misty condition prevails in many areas in the morning. In compared to the previous days, there will be slight decrease of rain on these days. After the 10th of this month, there may be heavy rains for 3 or 4 days. Heavy rains may experience in the northern and eastern provinces and in the southwestern part of the island from the 11th of this month. Sea areas close to the coastal belt along the Batclo, Kankasanture, via Trincomalee may also have showers or thunder showers.
And also, a number of activities were held in Parliament today under the leadership of the Women Parliamentarians Caucus in support of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Women parliamentarians and the staff of the Secretary General were dressed in orange to support the program. Accordingly, a wristband with the message "End Gender-Based Violence" was presented to the Speaker, Dr. Ashoka Ranwala, by the Deputy Chairpersons of Committees, Members of Parliament Hemali Veerasekara, along with the other members of the caucus. The wristband was also presented to Sajith Premadasa, the Leader of the Opposition, and Gayantha Karunatilaka, the Chief Opposition Whip. Secretary General of the Parliament, Kushani Rohanadira, was also present on this occasion. Subsequently, the wristbands were presented to Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, Leader of the House Minister Bimal Ratnayaka, Chief Government Whip Minister Dr. Nalinda Jathisa, and the Deputy Speaker Dr. Rizvi Shali. Furthermore, all the members of the Parliament were given the wristbands along with a public pledge end gender-based violence and promote gender equality. Chair of the Women Parliamentarians Caucus highlighted the availability of the 1938 hotline for reporting violence against women and children, assuring the prompt action on such complaints, and also underscored the government's strong approach in addressing cybercrimes against women. During the media briefing held thereafter, representing the Women Parliamentarians Caucus, Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya said that there has been a surge in incidents in violence-based gender. She added that the lessons to be learned with that special care has to be taken while travelling in public transport and to be careful about unknown persons. She also said that this has been taught since childhood and added that this kind of violence happens within households also, whereas those who are supposed to be done are committing gender-based violence. She said that this is the biggest tragedy witnessed in the society today and women the major victims of it. She has also said that it is the responsibility of all to solve the problem, since it is not merely a fault of males in the society and should not be taken lightly.
විශාලම ඛේදවාචකය. මේක ගැහැණුන් පිළිබඳ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙවෙයි. ගැහැණුන් තමයි මේකේ වින්දිතයන්. වින්දිතයන් බවට පත්වන අප විතරක් මේකට මැදිහත් වෙලා හරියන්නේත් නැහැ. මේක අපි සියලු දෙනාගේම වගකීමක්. අපි සියලු දෙනා එකතු වෙලා විසඳගත යුතු ප්‍රශ්නයක්. මේක පිරිමීන්ට දාන වරද්දක් නෙවෙයි. එහෙම සරලව ගන්න.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasuri today joined the Digital Library Conference organised by the National Science Foundation held at the Colombo Medical Faculty. She pointed out that the aim of the government is to bring about a new transformation based on research, witnesses and data in the country. And also, the visiting U.S. Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs, Mr. Donald Liu, paid a courtesy call on Prime Minister Dr. Haruni Amarasuri at the Parliament of Sri Lanka. Earlier in the days, the Assistant Secretary Liu met with the Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath as well. The Prime Minister's BD division stated that the meeting focused on enhancing bilateral relations, addressing Sri Lanka's economic challenges and exploring opportunities for education and governance collaboration. Prime Minister Amarasuri emphasized the government's commitment to transparency and accountability, highlighting the importance of aligning the education system with the economic needs to foster a skilled workforce. Discussions also addressed Sri Lanka's IMF program and the role of international partnerships in stabilizing the economy. It added, both parties reaffirmed the commitment to mutual goals in education, gender equality and economic equality. The statement said the U.S. delegation included Ms. Anjaki Kaur, USAID Deputy Assistant Administrator for Asia, Mr. Robert Karapoth, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Asia and the Pacific at the U.S. Department of Treasury, and His Excellency Ms. Julie Chung, U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka. The Sri Lanka representatives included Mr. Pradeep Saputantri, Ms. S. Vijitha Basnaika and Ms. Sobini Gunasekara.
And also the U.S. delegation, led by Assistant Secretary of the State for the Bureau of South and Central Asian Affairs, Donald Liu, met with Foreign Minister Vijitha Herath earlier today. The delegation included representatives from key agencies such as the United States Agency for International Development, USAID and the U.S. Department of Treasury. We congratulated Sri Lanka's new administration and discussed shared priorities and explored ways we can work together through the tailored programs, capacity building and technical assistance to support Sri Lanka's economic and governance reforms to benefit the Sri Lankan people, U.S. Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung said in a post on the International Civil Aviation Services Day will fall tomorrow. A special ceremony to mark this occasion was held today at the Civil Aviation Authority Auditorium in Katunayake. Deputy Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation Services, Engineer Janith Ruwan Korituaku, graced this occasion as a chief guest. As a special feature of this event, the most senior civil aviation figure at the civil aviation professional living in Sri Lanka at present, Second Chartered Aviation Communication Officer, was facilitated. He is 107 years old, Lionel Sirimana. Meanwhile, individuals and institutions that voluntarily contributed to the enhancement of civil aviation industry and aviation education service programs were also commended. Officials of the airport and Civil Aviation Company Limited and several others were present at this occasion.
And meanwhile, Health and Mass Media Minister Dr. Nalinda Janthi says slash in professional rights for suppression of trade union are not up to the new government's policy. The minister states that the government will be committed to respect the dignity of all professions and to fulfill reasonable demands of the trade unions. The minister stressed these facts at a discussion held recently with the trade unions of the health service. This discussion has been organized to look into the problems faced by the professionals at the trade sector and entertain the views and professionals of the trade unions for enhancement of health service. Minister Dr. Nalinda Janthi stated the demands of therefore the governments will take measures to solve their problems as soon as possible. At the discussion, the trade union representatives assured that they extend their support to the utmost for the government's new program. And meanwhile, Lohan Ratmatha has been re-arrested on account of an accident due to drunken driving. The accident took place at Kalpiti in evening today. According to police, Ratmatha was under the influence of liquor on this occasion. He was released on bail yesterday after being in custody on account of keeping in his possession a vehicle assembled illegally. And also, Ransalu Handloom Exhibition was inaugurated at the Bandaranaike International Conference Hall premises in Colombo today. The exhibition started with the participation of Minister Sunil Handunnetti and Deputy Minister Chaturanga Besingha. The exhibition is being organized jointly by the Department of Handlooms, Small and Medium Scale Entrepreneurship Development Division and the Ministry of Industries and Entrepreneurship Development, which will be held until the next Sunday. Minister Sunil Handunnetti said that so far these artists were not participated and appreciated at a handloom institutions were closed. He added that retail outlets like Salu Salu have been sold as they were planned to be privatized. The minister pointed out that instead, with the vision of the president in the Div government, a program to improve the national productivity has been stated, and he also said that the changes would be felt by the people during the next year.
And in the meantime, Made in Sri Lanka International Trade Exhibition was also started today in Alla Town, sponsored by Entrepreneurship Development Authority and the Alla Provincial Secretariat. This exhibition will go on until the 8th of this month, which contains 100 trade stalls, a large gathering along with the governor of the Uva province, Kapila Jayasekara, and the Deputy Chief of Mission of the Japanese Embassy in Sri Lanka.
On more local stories this evening, the Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Sees Zheng Hong, says that a new chapter has been commenced in Sri Lanka under the leadership of President Adura Kumara Dissanayake. He stressed that China is ready to provide Sri Lanka the utmost strength necessary for this purpose. The Chinese ambassador made this observation participating in an occasion to award financial scholarships by the Chinese government to the students from low-income earning families who are following higher education in the Ruhuna University. The function was held yesterday evening at the China-Sri Lanka Joint Studies and Research Centre established at the Ruhuna University. Scholarships have been awarded and a donation from the People's Republic of China since 2018. 53 students received scholarships in this time. A sum of 3.4 million rupees has been spent for this purpose. The Chinese embassy has taken steps to credit the concerned amount to the accounts of these students until completion of their graduate courses. The component authority of the Ruhuna University, Senior Professor RMU S.K. Ratnayake, Co-Director of the China-Sri Lanka Joint Studies and Research Centre, Senior Professor Disna Ratnasekara, along with others, joined this occasion.
Education exchange and cooperation has always been important components of the friendly interaction between our two peoples. To support the development of education in Sri Lanka, the Chinese government has been providing 4 scholarships, one-time scholarships, and short-term training opportunities in China to Sri Lanka students every year since 1975. In recent years, this number has reached over 1,000 annually. According to the Secretary of the Ministry of Finance of Sri Lanka, China is a country providing the largest number of training opportunities to Sri Lanka. Although our two countries are geographically distant, the friendship between China and Sri Lanka spans over 2,000 years. No matter how the international situation evolves, China will always firmly stand with the people of Sri Lanka and be a true friend and a good partner that Sri Lanka can rely on. Sri Lanka has entered a new era under the strong leadership of your new President, His Excellency Dissanayake. A new chapter of history is being written. I firmly believe that the Sri Lanka government and people will overcome temporary difficulties, gradually emerging from the challenges and achieve economic revitalization and prosperity.
Aviation, the first 7-star hotel in this country, is expected to create a huge change in hotel industry, being a host of new expectations to the economy of Sri Lanka.
And the hotel will be opened next year. At present, there are 7 7-star hotels in operation in the world. The Aviana Hotel Group of Sri Lanka will be the 8th 7-star hotel of the world. This hotel complex is being constructed in an enchanting environment of 27 acres at Udispatwa, Taldenia in Kandy. According to chairman of the Aviana Hotel, Dr. Thesara Hevawasam, 70% of the construction work has already been completed. The major aim of the project is to earn an income around $500 million into Sri Lanka. The meaning of the Latin word Aviana means peace. Knuckles mountain range and the Pidutalagala mountain from another angle adds a special natural beauty to Aviana Hotel. The guests can experience something more than the facilities of a hotel room in a huge building. Aviana contains 60 chalets specially reserved for tourists. Chalet means in an accommodation which is beyond a single suite. The hotel also accommodates helicopter landing. Accordingly, tourists will have the unique opportunity of arriving at the hotel in 30 minutes by a private helicopter owned by the Aviana from Katunayaka Bandaranaike International Airport.
And the Kapruka Christmas Beneficiary Special Lottery was issued to the market today at the head office of the Development Lotteries Board. The special draw is expected to be this month. A super prize exceeding 550 million rupees will be awarded in this day. Two prizes of 10 million rupees each, a prize of 2 million rupees and prizes of 200,000 rupees will also be awarded. A motorcycle can be won by matching the first special number with 6 digits. Several prize awards amounting to 50,000 rupees could be won by matching the special number with 6 digits, which will be selected secondly. The special lottery of Kapruka Christmas Beneficiary Lottery was issued to the market with the participation of the General Manager of Lotteries Board, Anuraja Aradhana, and the board management.
Let's look at more local news items in brief. The case against former governor of the Central Bank, Ajit Niwad Kabral, and others was taken up for hearing before the Colombo High Court today. The court ordered to present the preliminary objections of the case on the 23rd of January. The case was filed against the respondent, alleging that they have incurred a loss of 18 billion rupees to the government by investing state funds in Greek banks while the country had faced a severe economic crisis in 2011. The lawyers of the respondent informed the courts that the procedure of filing the indictment is totally detrimental to the law. A special roundtable discussion organized by the Institute of National Defence Studies was held at the Ministry of Defence yesterday. The theme of the discussion is promoting the economic security in Sri Lanka, utilizing its strategic geopositioning in the Indian Ocean region. Defence Secretary retired Air Vice Marshal Sampath Thuyankotha graced this occasion as the chief guest. Many leading experts also participated in the discussion. Police Special Task Force has been able to trace a 16 acres cannabis cultivation in the Yala Reserve. Police have also arrested 13 suspects. It is reported that defeat the largest cannabis cultivation discovered by the STF recently, and STF has also taken a firearm into custody. To mark the birthdays of His Eminence Archbishop Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith and late His Eminence Nicholas Marcus, a blood donation was held today at the Regional Blood Transfusion Centre of the Maharagama Apeksha Hospital. It has been organized by the Samgis 7 Treatment Service affiliated to the Patient Helping Centre of the Apeksha Hospital. The second round of the Miss and Mrs. Global Sri Lanka 2024 was held at the Hilton Hotel in Colombo yesterday. 1,500 contestants applied for the event, and in the second round, out of 120 contestants, 20 competitors were selected for Miss Global Sri Lanka and Mrs. Global Sri Lanka categories each. Winners of the final round will take part in the International Miss and Mrs. Global contest. National Television is the media sponsor for these events, which has been organized by the Tronic Entertainment Institute. Sri Lanka Navy deployed its divers to repair the sluice gates and emergency exits of the Namaloy Reservoir in Iniagala and sluice gates of Borapula Tank in Mahawar. This was done following a request made by the Ampara District Disaster Management Centre.
That's it on local stories. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
Prima Kutumi Pantamai.
Welcome back with international stories. And rebel forces said that they captured Hama in northwestern Syria.
And the leader of the Islamist militant group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, Abu Muhammad al-Jablani, declared victory in Hama and vowed there would be no revenge. Rebel fighters have taken control of Al-Dar al-Kebra near Homs, according to UK-based War Monitor, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights. The town is just 1 kilometer from the military academy in Homs, which is the largest military academy in Syria. At the same time, many officers and members of the 26th Division and Air Defence Battalion have withdrawn from the Termala north of Homs. Meanwhile, Jordan's Interior Ministry confirms that it has ordered the closure of the country's border with Syria. The Nasib crossing in the main passenger and commercial border crossing between the two countries, the Russian embassy in Syria has launched an appeal to citizens urging them to leave the country. Only last week, Russian strikes targeted the rebel-held northwestern city of Idlib in attempt to slow down rebel forces threatening the Bashar al-Assad regime.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamai.
Welcome back with your sports update, and today is the second day of the second test meeting touring the Sri Lanka and South Africa. Sri Lanka with 242 runs for 3